So now you're going through this, and you get the colonoscopy. They set up, I'm guessing, a surgery
Hmm.
quickly, or do they talk to you about chemo treatments or other types of treatments or radiation? Like, what did you have to go through to prep it or to follow up, and like, how long was that journey?
So after the colonoscopy and learning what was coming, and then the surgery, I thought, I was in the clear. But if you haven't been through it, it's hard to know what the skin anxiety is like for the people that are watching. But if you have been through it, you know what it's like waiting on results. So I was waiting on pathology to tell me what stage it was. And then when I found out, I was at work and it was hard to hide my feelings, but I did my best and I didn't know what was coming. Fortunately, like I would highly encourage people to reach out to anyone else who's in a similar situation, whether you see them online or you know them through mutual friends or family or whatever. It's really helpful because what I did was I reached out to a friend who I knew had stage 4 and
Oh,
colon cancer. Yeah, it was really, really helpful to me because he explained everything that he had been through. And he said what was likely to happen in my case. So I was like well prepared for when I met with a doctor who told me that it was a good idea to do chemotherapy, that it would increase my survival rate by like 20 to 30%. And
mhm.
although it's a personal choice to do the chemotherapy, I decided that I wanted to try everything possible to support myself in the process of like killing the cancer, any remaining cancer cells, and making sure that it was gone. So I wanted to do the chemo just because I thought it was the best decision, and everyone did agree on it. I think if it were completely my decision, and no one who I loved in my life, if I didn't listen to anyone I loved in my life, I may have chosen differently. Just because I don't think I gave the nutrition piece like a good enough try. But I'm glad that I did the chemo, and a lot of people agreed with me on that. So that's what I ended up doing was 6 months of treatment, and I'm glad that I reached out to a friend beforehand, so I was like well prepped. But nothing can
Yeah.
really prepare you for the moments that you actually hear those words, like what the actual percent survival rate is. Hearing like, oh, you have a 50% chance of living is really hard nonetheless. So
Yeah.
I think it was hard through those weeks, but then once I knew what the plan was, it was more helpful. And actually, you know what I liked about chemo was having something to hold on to during that time. Was like the scheduling of it. It gave me something to like, oh, I have to go to this treatment. I have to go to this follow up. I'm gonna go get liquid to make sure that I'm hydrated at this day. And so I'm glad for like the schedule. It helped me like feel like there was something to look forward to.
Are you a military kid?
No, I'm not, but I think that I don't know why this is, but I think I've always looked forward to like a schedule in my life. Like my mom has always said that to me. She's like, "When you were little, I had to tell you like what the plan was for the day." I'm like, "I just want to know what's going to happen."
Comfort
Yeah, give
because
me
you can control.
comfort and confidence. Yeah, because there's so much you can't control. Like you just want something to latch on to. Like, oh, you know what? I can't control everything in my life, so at least I can control like what's going on today. Like going to this appointment,
Schedule.
and I know what I'm gonna do, and I know what medicine I'm gonna have, and know what to look forward to.
We have the schedule queen. I love it. I think it's I think it's how you found your peace in the scheduling. So I mean, most people
Yeah,
freak out and you're like, I love a schedule. So
I love a schedule.
and 6 months. So what were you doing? Like every other week or once a
So I was
month?
doing every other week for, yep, for 6 months. It got pretty hard by the end. I wasn't acting like myself. And I guess something that I'd tell people, I want people to know about is the challenge that chemo creates, I think, is not just through chemo, but also a little bit afterward. I didn't know that I would have brain fog for a year afterward, but it truly felt like it took at least a year
Yeah.
to think clearly again. And I wish I knew that going into it. I wish someone had told me about that because it was hard to deal with that. People told me that I was being a little slower at work. People told me that I was being a little slower with my day-to-day work, and I was really frustrated by that, and I thought it was just me. But I'm really thankful that now I can look back and know that it was the chemo that made my thoughts more sluggish.
I'm surprised no one advised you on the side effects of chemo. I mean, chemo is like the devil.
Yeah.
It's such a hard chemical in your body. That's why it takes so long for them to go saying from like the words remission to cancer free, because it takes your body years to get it all like back to normal from
Yeah,
helping.
nobody did tell me about that. I wish that I was told more about it in the beginning. So I do want to like share that with people because nobody told
Oh,
me
thank you.
what the lasting effects would be. And also, I did something from my friend's recommendation who had been through the stage 4 cancer and tried different chemos um to ice my hands and feet during the chemo sessions. And
Yeah.
so that's something that I did. And I didn't know about, if I didn't know about that, I wouldn't have done it. I'm so glad I did because I think I maintained a lot of my nerve function where I might have had neuropathy, more neuropathy.
Question: what hospital were
Yeah.
you getting treatment in?
So I went to Dana-Farber and I was getting treatment at Dana-Farber. I really do love Dana-Farber. I went to the Chestnut Hill location and it was beautiful. Like I would go down the street afterward and I would go shopping even if I didn't feel good, just like walking by the stores was really therapeutic. So I like that aspect of it,
Shopping.
but I must say, what was that?
They
Shopping
purposely put
therapy.
a shopping center right by the hospital.
Coincidentally.
And I don't know if maybe I just know more than other people in this space, but like they have ice head wraps, and feet. That's been known for like decades.
I think it was with
So
the
it's
colon
weird that
cancer
they didn't have.
specifically that they didn't tell me about that.
Well, you did it during your chemo treatments, right?
Yeah, and I had to ask for that stuff during my treatments, but I think for the breast cancer patients, it was more like well known that you should cold cap because of the hair loss. But it's like anything below here, or sorry, like your chest and down,
Uh huh.
you don't lose your hair as frequently, or you just experience like hair thinning, but not hair loss. So I experienced a little bit of the hair thinning, but not like hair loss. So I saw the people with breast cancer who were doing the cold capping. I just didn't know that it could be useful for the colon cancer as well until my friend told me.
I thought it was for everyone, so that's interesting.
Okay. Oh,
We
okay.
both learned.
Yeah.
No, it's and that's beneficial. Have they? Do you know if they like now make that a standard thing in that hospital?
I know they mention it
Just
more
curious.
often, but I don't think it's standard yet. Yeah.
No, because people don't know to ask for it. So I mean, you wouldn't have known to ask if you didn't have a friend who went through it. So I think you're very fortunate enough that you were able to ask some questions to someone who had already been through it. So that's a
Mhm.
blessing. You do that for 6 months, and you just had chemo, right? Nothing else.
And so I just had the surgery and chemo. hmm And then
And then,
the lung surgery
but that came after. Like
after.
you've had like a year or two in between, right?
Yep. Yep.
So after you go through chemo treatment and you're going through getting stronger, I'm guessing, have you changed your life goals? Did anything click in yet? Like, what are you thinking now? Like, I'm guessing they tell you that now you're in remission, right?
Yeah, no evidence of disease, so NED, and they are still monitoring me yearly or annually until I hit that 5-year mark. So I'm looking forward to in the next 2 years hitting that 5-year
Amen.
mark and not having that surveillance as much.
No, that's also something really good because you were told it takes 5 years. I'm also learning in a lot of hospitals now they're telling people that the second that they're like in remission, they're cancer free. I've never heard
Oh.
anyone telling me that they're cancer free in a year. And you had like 8 months of chemo. I don't know how that's possible, but again, things change. But like now you're like, I need to, because God, I don't want to jump into the next part unless we have to. But when was this video of Nicole Smith come out of like working out in a hospital room? Was that during the first round or the second round?
That was during the first, and it
All right.
was a little unhinged, but I think that was who I am deep down is, am I gonna face this or not? And if I decide to face it, like I want to face it fully. And I was like, you know what? I know I'm here right now in a hospital room about to get surgery, but I'm gonna start my journey towards healing now. And I think that taking that video is just the start of
I love
mentally
it.
my
In fact,
healing journey.
it's just awesome because it showed that you had no matter what, you had the right mindset to keep fighting.
You have to have that.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's a hard scenario. Any health journey, it's just hard to have self motivation, and that's a really good thing to be able to tell yourself to kick ass and keep going. So I think it's great. I think
Yeah.
people will be inspired by that. Going, you know what? Who cares? I'm just gonna drop and give myself 20 squats.
Yeah,
Why not?
even if you don't have anyone except yourself, when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and say you don't have any family support or friends going through what you're going through, I think just looking in the mirror and being like, you know what, I'm here, I'm present, I have the ability to fight this, and I'm just gonna keep going, and keep trying. That really helped me.
So that journey, how was like? I feel like I know the answers. And I feel like people who are watching this probably will know. But like, physically, mentally, and emotionally, where like, how'd you manage all that after leaving the hospital, knowing that you're in remission? Like, what were your next steps? Because now, if I'm correct, and we'll get into it, you've decided to make nutrition and health a part of what you do every day now, if I'm correct, right? So it's become
Mhm.
this lifelong mission, passion, and career wise.
Yeah, I would say I still have my regular 9 to 5. Um, but I do enjoy helping other people, and biggest way I can help is by sharing what I'm doing, and by being there for other people when they need something, or they need to share like their health journey. And I've met so many great people like Holly, who you've interviewed through this, and I'm so grateful for all of that because I don't think I would have met them otherwise. So I'm really just grateful for that part of the process of meeting some truly incredible people like yourself, like Holly. It's just really humbling. And I would say it's been such an emotional journey, but it truly tests you. And I think cancer asks of you, like, what are you made of, and who are you? It begs you to answer the questions that you may have taken time answering before you got cancer. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to have this second chance at life, and to start answering those questions more fully, and diving into my true passions. Yeah.
I think it's because you didn't just go back to like your normal what you were doing before life. Like,
No, not really. No, I think it clarified a lot for me in what I want. I love horses actually. That's something that I'm really passionate about, and I don't think I've stopped doing that. In fact, I think I've become more involved in that. But I have also become more interested in nutrition, in meditation, just daily practices that can improve your overall health. And I have started ingraining those in my lifestyle, and hope to continue to integrate them more fully, and to continue to like improve at all of those practices. Grounding, just exposure to regular sunlight, and to being outside in fresh air, to being around people and doing things you love, moving your body. All the things you hear about but don't take seriously are so much more important than you think.
and just getting outside sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's great. I think people need to know that the other side of this is everything that you want it to be if you just want to take the steps to just, now that you have a second shot, go for it. And that should be good motivation for some people. You know, second chance at life is a blessing and a beautiful thing. More people actually go through that than I think anyone really understands how many people go through that.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
there are people who don't change, and that's okay too, because they probably loved their life before it hit them, and they go back to their lives. And having the mindset to keep going and fighting and building a stronger body, mentally, physically, is super important. And it sounds like you're on that path for sure. And you probably can inspire other people. I don't know if you, and this is now just the business consultant in me, so forgive me, I do this to everyone. But if your 9 to 5 is your 9 to 5, and this is because the cancer community is like, I think, the greatest community. It's all
Hmm.
real people who just kick ass.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like you're doing anything online to like give little daily tips, or like what your workout routines are, or how you're eating and how you've changed certain things from what you used to eat to now. I think could be very beneficial to people. I don't know if you're
Hmm.
doing that or not yet, but you should.
I've been slowly trying to. I created a 14-day reset guide, and I think it's for anyone who's trying to become healthier. So I have that available on like a stand store. It's linked in my bio on my Instagram at Nicole Smith. But that's just kind of one step in the direction that I want to head towards. I want to make sure that, like you said, like people can read about my journey or learn about my journey and the steps that I took, even if they're not perfect, they just learn about what I did, and I'm still here, and so I'm grateful for that every day. But yeah, some people want to know, how are you still here? Like, what did you do? What kind of mindset did you have? What were your and I don't think it is, everyone's story is so windy. The reality of it is that it takes a long time to integrate these like daily changes to your lifestyle. And sometimes cancer can be overwhelming and you think you have to change it all at once. But I'm trying to share with people that it doesn't have to be all at once. You can take the little steps and they can lead you to taking the bigger steps. It just takes, one step in the right direction, as you said before, too.
Yeah, slow and steady. But you should
Yeah.
also get, you should talk about that, and like little, like while you're like walking, you should make, sorry, everyone,
Yeah. No, I
I'm
will.
helping everyone because, you know, consulting is my background. So like
Hmm.
this is such a beneficial thing. I know that it's probably part of what you want to do for your future also.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I want to like break it down now, because like you get this great news, you're living your life again, I think like 2 years, and
Mhm.
then out of nowhere, and I don't know, you found out you had cancer again. But like how and what? And what was that like?
So, yeah, it was actually a really hard time in my life because I actually went through a failed engagement. So that was an emotional struggle. And I was trying to kind of find myself through that after being with someone who had been with me through my journey. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't, I think part of not working out might have been due to like all the emotional toll that cancer did have on me. And unfortunately, that is a reality of relationships through and even after cancer. And I don't like to say that, but I want to be honest that it really can put a big strain on like your relationships with family not agreeing with your decisions through cancer, or with your significant other having struggling emotionally as well, because it's a big toll on your body and your emotions too. And I am fortunate, my doctor did warn me. She said the 2 years post chemo, or at least a year, may be more, you may experience more emotions. So yeah, I was warned that there were going to be more emotions. I just didn't know the extent of which. So I was dealing with that, and then I got my scans again. And my scans showed that there was some growth in this area in my lung. And she said, it may not be anything to worry about, but if you'd like, you can consult with the doctor at Mass General Brigham. And I said, okay, well, knowing that it's helped me to advocate for my own health, I'd like to consult with this doctor and see where it goes. And after consulting with him, it was pretty clear that getting lung surgery was a good idea and that we would continue to do the monitoring afterward, but it would be a very um, small piece of my lung that needed to be resected. And it wouldn't be as bad as like what could be in the future if I didn't get rid of it in the present. So I was like, you know what? I would feel the best if I got the surgery and I got this taken out, even though we don't know what it is right now, because they would have had trouble biopsying it at that point. And so I went forward with the
Oh wow.
surgery. Yeah. So I didn't even know if it was
You
cancerous at that point.
didn't even know if it was cancer or benign or anything. You were just like, let's get that fucker out of me. I'm sorry.
Let's get it
Let's get
out.
that out of me.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
energy because that's how crazy I was at times with certain health issues. Like you just sign off, like you're like, just do it.
Just do it.
I'll be home in 2 days. Like, get it out.
Exact. I
What
felt
did
the exact same way.
and you may or may not know. So, I mean, I know that also when we were talking about oxygen, I also know emotions and how your body plays with how it breaks down and going through
Yeah.
I guess it's not, it's just a breakup, but it's a fiance. So it
Yeah,
sucks.
it was seeing my future with someone and then all of a sudden like seeing that taken away from me. So it was that was a lot to go through.
Well, I think it also exposed that he wasn't the right one because there's a reason why they say through love and sickness. He obviously, it was different for him. And, no fault. I mean, it's a hard situation. It sucks. It sucks to be him, probably. It sucks for you to have to go through that with him and then probably love him more for him being there, but then
Right.
having to walk away. But again, I feel like you also have that attitude where you're like, you know what? This sucks. But it's like, I just made it through cancer. I'll figure this out too, right? Like, you kind of have to.
Exactly. Yeah. You kind of, at that point, you're like, I've already made it through cancer. Like, I can make it through this.
And it sounds like you have a new great boyfriend. So
Yeah. And I do. So I'm thankful for that.
everything has a way of working itself to where it needs to be. It just sucks that you have to go through that.